they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Falcon, hi.
Thank you.
It's been so long.
I know it has.
You finally recovered from napitis.
I certainly did. It was quite a disease, but I pulled through thanks to support from viewers like you.
Yeah, so we weren't here last week because you had a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh. You just didn't set an alarm at all?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't know. I might have. Maybe slept through it. Sometimes that happens to me.
Yeah, that happens.
I'm a really deep sleeper. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
You're awake now. That's what matters.
Yeah, and I understand this is a milestone for the podcast.
Well, last week would have been. This
What?
is just 1 week after a milestone. That's not a milestone. Last week would have been 5 years to the day.
Oh, so it's just a time one. It's not number of podcasts.
Oh, no. The number, this is 237.
37, right?
Yeah.
So that's not really a milestone number at all.
Ooh. That tells
Gotcha.
you we've missed, what's that, like 13 over the 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that math works out. I'm just going to agree with you and not try to do it in my head.
No way, that can't be right. Because it's 52. I never do math on streams. Bad idea.
Bad. Worst possible idea. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Anywho. Woof. Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring recently. You know, late to the party as per usual, but
I mean, not incredibly late. I mean, it's not like you went back and started playing Dark Souls, right?
That's true.
What? Yeah. Elden Ring still came out like this year? Was it this year?
I think it was last year. Yeah.
Say 2022 action role playing game. Came out February. So
Only February?
yeah.
Oh.
So I
That's
mean,
like the... Yeah,
it's
you're right.
basically concurrent. Yeah.
Yeah, check that out. I'm actually on time. Huh. I guess I do that sometimes. I did play The Last of Us Part 2 when it was released.
True. Didn't you go and like buy a PlayStation for that as well?
Yeah, sure did.
Okay. Cool.
Uh-huh.
You plan on playing the new remake of The Last of Us Part 1?
I am not. I don't think it needs a remake, honestly. I think it's a excellent, like, top tier legendary game as it is.
Yeah, I saw screenshots comparing them, and I'm like, which one's the new one?
Right. And I mean, remake, it means so much these days. Like, is it a Final Fantasy VII remake where it changes 90% of everything, right?
It's a remaster.
It's a remaster. So yeah, I mean, look, when you're playing a game and you remember it 10 years later, it looks great in your head, even if it was on old tech, even if it was on 4 generations of consoles ago.
True.
So in my brain, it looks great. And if there's anything that didn't look great, I don't remember it. So I don't need a remake at all.
That's fair. That is fair. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake, they finally got around to announcing Part 2.
Oh, I did see that. When's that supposed to come out?
For the PlayStation 5, this winter. Or next winter. By this winter, I meant now.
Oh.
Yeah, right. So
I guess it is midwinter for you, right?
Yeah. So next winter, which is like the winter upcoming, is what I believe they mean.
Can you not use seasonal names and give me a month?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They didn't give one, so I can't say it'll be out in December, and then it'll be like, it won't be out in December. It might be January. So.
Okay, fine. That's good. January-ish at the latest. Maybe after that. Who knows? But that's what they're saying.
On the PlayStation 5.
Right. I saw they released Part 1 on Steam. It's like $70.
Yeah, which is cheaper than it was on Epic when it came out 6 months ago. Because it was $130 for me there.
Oh my gosh! I forgot it went to Epic. Let's see what it costs on Epic for me. Why is it more on Steam after releasing after major platforms? What the heck, Steam? Come on. I mean, after PC, if it was the first PC version, then like, okay, fine, I guess. But honestly,
no.
if it's already on Epic, then what are we doing?
I mean, it never ceases to amuse me that Square Enix is like, we're gonna raise the price on this game where one of the major villains is a greedy corporation. Like,
Right.
that irony never ceases to amaze me.
What are you trying to do? Man.
So anyway, I bought Final Fantasy VII again on Steam.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So that puts my total expenditure on this game up to like $6,000 or something. I don't know. I'm rounding up.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Okay, $6,000. Got it.
Yeah, that's maybe a little bit higher than it really is. But anyway, so they announced part 2, which is going to be called Rebirth, and it's going to be on PlayStation in like 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, and then we'll probably have to wait another 2 years for it to be on PC, and then it'll be on Epic for 6 months, and then 6 months after that, like I might be able to get it on Steam again.
Is this supposed to be 3 parts? How many parts is this supposed to be?
3 parts, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is $70 on the Epic.
Mm-hmm.
Good grief.
Yep. Good times.
Yeah, no, not happening. All right, cool.
They also announced that Crisis Core, which was a prequel spin-off set 7 years before the events of Final Fantasy VII with Zack as the main character, that's getting remade because that came out in like 2007 or something for the PSP, and like they're doing a full remake with that, so it looks like Final Fantasy VII remake, which is great because I never really got a chance to play it because it was a PSP exclusive. So I'm looking forward to that, and apparently that's also coming out soonish, I think.
What is?
Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion is what I think they call it. Just give it an extraordinarily long name for no reason.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think of a charitable reason why.
Why they would remake it, or just why they would give it an extraordinarily long
name it that way.
Oh, it's Japanese.
Because it's Japanese and because it's Final Fantasy related, so that's like 2 reasons why it has a super long, convoluted name.
Right. Well, don't forget that they're also remaking, they're doing this weird side remake for mobile ports, which is all the Final Fantasy games, like all of them, called Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. So you'll be able to play all the games in that. So you can say it'll be Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, as like possibly the longest name in the entire series. It'll be ridiculous, and I don't know what they're going to do for that because that game was not good on PlayStation 2.
I mean, yeah, PlayStation 2 was quite an era, so...
Yeah, so putting that on phones is going to be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am excited. Color me excited for more Final Fantasy.
I mean, that's your jam, so it makes total sense.
That is my bread and butter. Yeah. Although, I'm really kind of annoyed because I have spent a lot of money on the remake, getting like collector's editions from the US because they didn't sell any here. Yep. That cost a lot of money, and now I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go through all that again. But having just bought the game on Steam, when I got the original PS4 version, I got the US version, which came with a bunch of download codes for pre-order bonuses that weren't available in Australia. Not just like the physical stuff, like there was some digital content, like some accessories and stuff. And I couldn't use them because I had an Australian account. They were like, yeah, these don't work here, bro. I'm like, you fuck. Anyway, I get the Steam version, I load it up, and it's like, hey, all that shit, you get it for free. Here you go, buddy.
Wow.
They just gave it to everyone. I didn't need to go through any of that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, just you had to wait, but yeah.
I mean, I had to wait.
Not much.
But, yeah. So now I'm a little gun shy on like, well, do I go for the special edition if I've got to get it from America?
Wait for Steam, I guess. Yeah.
Wait for Steam. Well,
that's the moral of the story, as always, is wait for Steam.
Yeah.
Blah. All right, cool. So Final Fantasy, lots of exciting news coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
So Omicron may not be buying it on release day, or he may be. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yes. Bruh. All right, cool. So let's see what else is going on. Do you want to hit Obi-Wan?
Yeah, we can talk about Obi-Wan. We haven't talked about it since literally the first 2 episodes came out.
Right. So there's some stuff to cover here. I mean, we can cover it pretty quickly. Not a ton has happened in this show, I guess.
It's true. I would just like to say that if you want to watch Star Wars in canonical order, pay no attention to the fact that the Empire here was able to track Obi-Wan and the girl through hyperspeed, like light speed, because that definitely won't become a big plot point in any of the later movies. About how that's impossible and it's really complicated and you need some fancy tech. Don't worry, that's never going to be a plot point. It's just a restraining bolt on a droid. Like, that's all you need.
Apparently.
I'm definitely not bitter about that.
The world build in Star Wars is possibly the shakiest world build in anything that's big. Harry Potter is maybe a close second, but man, the Star Wars world build is just whatever we want to happen will happen. Do we have any concern about how this has happened before? No, not all that much. Well, maybe we'll ask around, but if no one makes any serious objections, we'll go right ahead.
Right.
It drives me crazy.
I mean, Harry Potter's only bad because it's got like a absolute lunatic of an author, but she's also the only author. Like, she's not George Lucas and just sold everything off. I literally found out like 2 days ago that she was like, oh yeah, here's some little like wizarding world lore for you, which is it took a long time for wizards to accept muggle plumbing, so they usually just shit on the floor and then magic it away. That's what all the wizards used to do.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that a couple of years ago. Pretty gross stuff, JK.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't need to. Nobody cared. Like, it would have been totally fine if you just be like, yeah, they had plumbing. It's fine. Like, you didn't need to tell us this.
No, that's the biggest thing with her is she wrote her books and she was done. She told her story complete, and then she couldn't help but being like, but then there's this thing, and this happened, and here's another thing you didn't know. It's like, just walk away from it. Just if you want to write more books, but otherwise, just walk away from the thing.
Right?
Come on, don't try to whatever she's trying to do. Yeah. So anyway, in Star Wars, look. Rian Johnson, of all the people involved in making a Star Wars thing, probably cared the less about how Star Wars is supposed to work.
Right.
He had his idea of what he wanted to do and how he wanted to deconstruct Star Wars, and he did it. The end. Yep. I can't. I mean, how many times do you think he asked people around the table, does this fit within the Star Wars universe?
Ooh.
Do you think he ever did that?
I think maybe he tried to change the typeface on the opening crawl and someone said no. And then he was like, well, they're just going to tell me no every time I ask something. And so he just stopped asking. That's my headcanon for why he didn't ask anyone. Because he literally asked that one time. That's my opinion. He probably did it once, got a no, and then just said, it's safer just not to ask. Because I can get, like, better to ask for forgiveness and permission, right?
Someone needs to write a book about the creation of the sequel trilogy, because I would read that. I would buy it. I would buy like 8 copies, man. I need to know. I need to know all of these things, because there was just so much just absolute incompetence involved on every level of the creation of every one of those movies. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway,
there's a lot of good stuff about them too. Let's not paint everyone who worked on the film as bad.
No, I didn't. Just the levels of incompetence were big. There was also levels of good that were happening too. It's just the incompetent stuff sticks with you more, you know?
Yeah. It's true.
Man.
Anyway, are you enjoying the show? Are you enjoying Kenobi?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's getting very it's okay vibes for me.
Yeah. The big thing about this was apparently it was supposed to be kind of a dad in the desert taking care of a kid kind of a story, but then Mandalorian took off and Disney was like, we can't do another one of those. So basically the great success of The Mandalorian really screwed over the Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, because it did things that those shows were supposed to be, but way better. And then they completely changed course at the 11th hour, and whatever the heck Obi-Wan is now, it's not what it was a year ago. or whenever they had a thing, and then they were like, major reshoots, major rewrites, go, 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 and this is what we get. And it's like, you can tell, because how about the story of Wade? Isn't the story of Wade the most amazing, heart-rending story you've ever heard in Star Wars?
Oh, yeah. I mean...
I can't believe he shows up, dies, and then we're supposed to give a crap about him. His wingman's like, Wade is dead. Oh, no. And we're like, we don't know anything about Wade. Were there extra conversations with Wade you've cut from this show? Probably. What are we doing here? Okay.
So, I mean, Wade literally had about 45 seconds of screen time. I think
that seems accurate. Yeah.
I think I counted, and I rounded up to be 45 to make it generous. Yeah, honestly, it took me a second to know who you were talking about because he's literally in it for like half a second.
Yeah. But then, it'd be fine if he was there for half a second. He shows up. He participates in the rescue from the Fortress Inquisitorial. He dies. The end. It's like, okay, that happens. Pilots die in Star Wars all the time. Ground people die in Star Wars. But then they gave us this scene where we're supposed to know who he is. His wingman is honestly like, we'd lost Wade. And everyone's like looking, like everyone in the audience is like, what was that his name? What is going on here? Yeah. Well, so it pieces.
Yeah. Honestly, the episode, that entire episode where Leia gets kidnapped from like the mining facility or whatever, the geography of that entire event is just all over the place. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Leia walk through like a field to get to a point that they've never been to before, to meet someone they've never met or don't know about. They go, there's no one here, so they walk off. But the woman who was supposed to be meeting them has a flying, like a hover cart, like basically has a car, gets there, can't see these two people standing in a field, gets back to the base before they do, even though they would have left the field, and gets to the checkpoint. And then she comes from the base, but she would have been out at the field being like, well, where the hell are they? And we're only like 5 minutes into this episode. And it's like, none of... How are you getting around so fast? This doesn't make any goddamn sense. And then like, okay, get out, like escape through this secret tunnel. And then like, she's like not in the secret tunnel when she goes back because she doesn't like come out she doesn't come out of the entrance that they went in. She's just somewhere else in the mining facility. And then this woman who went into the tunnel after Leia is at the other end of the tunnel before Leia.
Right.
None of it makes sense. There's no consistent geography in that episode at all.
It's late seasons Game of Thrones stuff. Mm-hmm. Distance doesn't matter. People can teleport.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is it laziness, or did they have it another way and they had just changed everything so much that it just doesn't make sense anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I really don't know.
So I don't know. There's things I like. I have big complaints. Like, okay, you're Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
You are so strong in the Force. You can yank an entire ship down, pull it to the ground, rip the door open, but you can't sense there are 0 life forms aboard? Really?
I mean, no, even worse than that. He can pull a ship that's trying to escape orbit, which means it's probably the most thrust it can put out because it needs to escape gravity, right? Pull it to the ground, rip it apart, but you can't do that again as you see another ship trying to take off. Literally,
right. He ran out of mana. Away. He needed to drink a mana potion.
Except he didn't run out of mana because he then only, in a kind of cool fight scene, he then fights someone without drawing his lightsaber, which is kind of cool. Except for the person he fights, I think she was very unimpressive. But I don't think that's her fault. That's the choreographer's fault.
Right. So there's just a couple things there too. So like our little Inquisitor, she's like, I want to kill Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan's like, cool. We can work together on that, kind of. I know you hate me, but let's maybe try to work together on a little bit. I'm gonna go this way and distract Vader, and then you hit him. Right?
Here's the
That's basically communicated.
no, well, kind of. It's
Kind
like,
of.
It's kind of like, hey, I'm not. You're not bringing me to him. I'm bringing him to you. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Right? And she's like,
Right.
well, how do you know you won't get caught? And he's like, he'll only be thinking of me. So my entire understanding of that scene was he was like, use me as bait to draw him down here and then kill him. And she's like, okay, cool, let's do that. Hold him in the building for some reason instead of out here. And then he escapes. It's like, you're the bait. The bait doesn't escape. You're on the hook. Like, Vader walks into that room and goes, everyone's not here. Like, at that moment, you have to go like something up because she's like, yeah, I've got him secured in that building with only 2 stormtroopers and no one watching him. I swear he's in there. It's like, what are you doing? You had a plan, and then everyone's just like, peace out, bro. You deal with it.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a lot of the times in TV and movies and books, you can feel the author needing something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to make that happen, stuff needs to not make sense for a minute. They just need to not follow logic for just a second, and then the thing that they want to happen can happen.
Right. I mean, Obi-Wan giving up and being like, hey, use me as bait. I totally get that. That's fine. That works. It's him then just being like, all right, I explicitly have no weapons because when I surrendered myself, they would take them off them. So he hands them all to what's-his-face, the non-Jedi Jedi with magnets. Yeah. And he's holding onto them. Mm-hmm. And then he just breaks out of custody like it was nothing off screen and kills all of the stormtroopers that were holding him prisoner and then leaves.
Right. I'm like, heaven forbid we see that.
Right.
Like, why? Why can't we see that? Well, and the other thing is, Little Inquisitor, okay, so Vader is visibly focusing everything on this ship that's trying to take off.
Mm-hmm.
He's keeping it down, but it seems like it's
taken
a moderate challenge for him, right?
Right.
So you don't hit him in the back with a lightsaber when he's doing that. You wait until he's done. You wait until the other ship has taken off. Mm-hmm. Then you warrior charge battle cry, and then try to kill him. What in the ever-loving fuck? How is that your plan?
Yeah, also, there's so many, like, everything in this show, I think everyone has bad plans. Everyone just, like, forgets that there's always someone else. It's like, there's, like, Star Destroyers in orbit, and they're landing troops. And it's like, okay, so what we're going to do is hold them here for a minute while we get the bay doors open, and then we're going to try and take off. And, like, wait, your plan is to just fly to where the Star Destroyers are?
Right.
What?
No, there is no air support in this universe. None whatsoever. If you escape off of the surface of a planet, it doesn't matter if the Empire has a force up there. You're fine. You're getting away free and easy.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Right. Like in the previous episode where it's like, haha, we've planted a bug on them and we're going to track them. And it's like, okay, you explicitly like belayed the order to scramble your anti-air fighters or your anti-air turrets or whatever. So you could let them escape and then find them later. It's like, okay, you can kind of retcon, like make us believe that that's why there's no ships flying around and they just happen to get away. Wink.
Right.
You can kind of buy that. But these like pseudo rebels are just like, yeah, we're just going to fly away from the Imperials. It makes no sense. The Imperials that are landing are like, hey, we're all going to stand kind of in formation and we'll point our guns at the door so the people in front can shoot, but the person behind them can't. It's like, if they formed a firing line, they would have slaughtered everyone when that door went down immediately.
Right, but there are no tactics. Nothing.
There's no
tactics on this show at all. Like, this is the group that eliminated the Republic. It wasn't that long ago.
Right, it was 10 years ago.
Right. They killed the public. They've been fighting little resistance groups and killing Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they have no idea how to handle the situation at all.
Uh-huh.
Just so much of this. Yeah. So much of the show is just people who do not care about this kind of thing. Or maybe they do care. Maybe they were forced to do super fast rewrites and reshoots at the last second, and they didn't have time to look over this stuff. And they know it's sloppy, and they're embarrassed by it. But I don't know, man.
There are lots of places this could have been falling apart. Reshoots, rewrites, all kinds of things.
Yeah, but maybe that's not it. Maybe that doesn't happen, and they had all the time in the world to figure this out and just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder that if, because they got Christian Haydenson, is that his name? You got to play Anakin. They got him back, and they got who's the guy playing Obi-Wan? I can't remember his name. Ewan McGregor. They got them back, and I do wonder if they were like, look, we're interested in doing it, but like Star Wars is kind of a shit show at the moment after the last movies, and they said, okay, we've got these other shows we were thinking about doing. Let's see if we can sell an audience on one of these shows, and then we'll get you in. And what they did was they took what was supposed to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi show and just rewrote it as The Mandalorian. Right?
Yeah.
Because honestly, the first season of that is just way better, right?
Right.
And you have a character who, like Baby Yoda, who basically could grow up to just be a Jedi. Makes way more sense for that to be who Obi-Wan Kenobi is like, oh shit, I need to like leave Tatooine and take care of this thing because we like found the next Yoda. That makes way more sense than I am bounty hunter, I must protect, right?
Yeah, it makes more sense. Man, yeah, for sure.
But if you then like, I feel like if you put a bounty hunter in Kenobi's place and then remove Vader, the show becomes a little more grounded, like less Imperial highest priority, more like low tier Imperial work in like the Outer Rims. Like there's not a lot of, because like Vader can call huge fleets to do whatever he wants, right?
You'd sure think so.
You'd think so. But if Vader wasn't in this, and this was just about some Inquisitors chaining a bounty hunter who maybe has someone kind of important, maybe not Leia, but somebody important, like a senator's daughter or something, then the amount of firepower that they're able to draw in makes way more sense.
Yeah, like, for sure.
Way more consistent and on par with what's actually happening. So it might... I don't mind the theory that they just swapped the scripts for the two things so that they could get people interested in The Mandalorian so that they could buy Ewan McGregor and Christian Slater. No, not Christian Slater. Hayden Christensen?
Yeah, Hayden Christensen.
God, so many names. I like the character names way easier, even though I hate the name Anakin. It's like, hey, this is Luke, this is Leia, this is Ben, and this is Hans. And then, well, Hans is like a German name, right?
So it's just Han. It's not Hans.
Right, but it's just the singular. Close. It's fun. It's close enough.
Chewbacca.
He's an alien.
Lando.
It's not that bad. But then you have like Anakin. It's like, come on.
Lando is the exact same as Anakin.
No,
they're both entirely made up. Why is Anakin more made up than Lando is?
Because it's just land with an O on the end, right?
Yeah.
I've heard the word land before. I've never heard of an Anakin before.
All right. Fair enough. It's close to the word land. All right.
Yeah. Look, it just feels more natural. It felt like kind of sci-fi nonsense, right? Like, sure. Like, Lando Calrissian, sure. But the guy's, like, Anakin, his kid's, like, Luke. Luke is a very 21st century kid's name, right?
Yeah, for sure.
There's no fantasy. There's no sci-fi or fantasy in that at all. So why did his dad have to be Anakin? Where was the switch? There's minor gripes now about the Star Wars universe.
George Lucas does not care about this stuff. He's like, I need a name for. Okay, first of all, Darth Vader was Darth Vader.
True.
Darth Vader. And after movie 1, he became Luke's dad. We gave him something. Later on, he got the name Anakin, which I'm sure Lucas like pounded on his typewriter for a second. I was like, that's it. That's his name. It's Anakin. Move on. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care about these names. He's never sat down and been like, the naming conventions in my Star Wars need to make a lot of sense and be consistent and awesome. He doesn't care.
He should have.
He doesn't care.
He should.
He should have. No, I agree. He should have cared more about the world build than he did. But you know what? He didn't. So, ta-da. That's it. Doesn't matter. Blah. Anyway, so the Obi-Wans. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so you've got Obi-Wan Kenobi on this planet, and back to your point, Vader can't be like, send a fleet, lock down the entire planet, all 360 degrees of it, just nothing but Star Destroyers. Tractor beams on, turbo lasers trained.
I mean, I like how when they're like, yeah, we've tracked Lord Vader, we've tracked them to this little planet, and they're holed up in a bunker. And she's like, if they lock the doors, they could survive in there for 3 to 4 days. It's like 3 or 4 days. You've been hunting Jedi for like a decade. What is 3 or 4 days? Let them starve. Like
Let them starve. And let an entire fleet show up.
It's just the entire thing is it's like, oh, Anakin doesn't have the patience for a protracted siege. Protracted siege? It's 4 days. He's been looking for you for 10 years. He can wait 4 more days.
Like they don't have enough food in there for 3 years, honestly.
No.
So yeah, there's enough inconsistency here that it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much been the Obi-Wan show.
Well, that is.
Oh, and my other favorite part is the final episode. The most recent episode ends with a close-up of Luke sleeping. And we're like, okay, we all know Luke's fine. Nothing happens to Luke. Why are you trying to increase the tension that something's going to happen to Luke?
Right.
Because not only is he fine, but his life is entirely so boring that going into town and buying a power converter is like the highlight of his entire month. Okay?
Right.
So don't tell me he got involved in some crazy battle with Darth Vader when he was 6, because that would change him pretty significantly.
Yep.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens to him. Don't give me a close-up of the kid where nothing happens to him. That's all.
Maybe something will happen to Uncle Owen.
Okay.
Right?
Fine, but then show us a close-up of Uncle Owen.
No, but like something will happen to Uncle Owen and Ben just around the corner from where Luke is, and they're like trying to stop whatever it is from getting to Luke, and Luke will just be like completely unaware of the entire situation.
Luke will just be
the
whole time, right?
And then Luke will get his spaceship toy that Kenobi wanted to give him. That'll be how he gets it. And then he'll fix it up and hold it and keep it for another 10 years until New Hope rolls around. And he'll be like, man, I got these droids, better play with my childhood toy.
Yep, it's time. I like going back to the toys I played with when I was 6 as well.
I mean, to be fair, he does dream of being a pilot, and all his friends have gone off to pilot school to be like fight the Empire or whatever. And so I guess there's some kind of like, Uncle Owen just shot down my attempts to leave again. He wants me for another season. I heard that 7 times in the last year. And then he picks up his little nostalgic toy. Like, you can make it fine that he's playing with that thing still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is another thing. Back to, we need to get our characters somewhere or do something, but we need people to be dumb to make it happen.
Right.
Bail Organa is like, hey, Obi-Wan, haven't heard you from in a while. I'm really worried about you. Let me make it very clear that there is a boy who needs protecting on Tatooine, and there's an Owen involved. Okay, see you later. Talk to you soon. What in the hell?
Here's the best part. Here's the best part. He's like, if I don't hear back from you soon, I will go and protect this boy, Luke, at coordinates 475, who's under the legal guardianship of Owen. But it's like, dude, just send him a text back. Just send him a text back. That's all you had to do. He just wanted you to be like, okay. Right? Like, turn on read. If Kenobi had just turned on read receipts, it'd be fine, right? Like,
and then maybe destroy the holocron.
Right.
Instead of just leaving it around for Magnet Jedi to drop on the ground and let the Empire fight.
It's like, hey, how are we all leaving this one circular room real quick? I need to go surrender temporarily to the Empire. Where are we going? Okay, I'm going to leave my possessions, all of my worldly possessions, on the fucking ship, maybe. Not with a person who has other shit to do, presumably, right? I'm just going to leave them on this chair. I'm going to, you mind if I take this seat? Anyone else have this seat? No? Okay, I'm just going to leave my lightsaber here. Just know this seat's taken. If someone wants it for their table, we're using it. I'll be back. No, give it to the clumsy guy.
That's it. We need things to happen, and so
They
they
have-
happen.
They
It's
have an
like
entire
Pokemon.
box of lightsabers. Put it in there.
Right. Well, and then going even further back, another example of this, Obi-Wan is at an Imperial checkpoint. They've got a droid gonna scan his face. Kill everyone before you get scanned, Obi-Wan. The only reason he waits for the scan to happen and for his face to get uploaded to the Imperial network is because we needed the Inquisitors to get involved. We needed them to find where he was. So Obi-Wan needed to be really, really stupid for about 10 seconds. What was he doing?
He was
Like,
waiting.
maybe my face won't be in the Imperial database and they won't recognize me. I have a beard. It's different from what it was 6 years ago.
Not really.
Not really. Come on, Obi-Wan.
Okay, so he was like stealthily trying to draw his pistol, or his blaster, I should say.
Okay.
So he was like biding time to get that out and aim it without the troopers knowing, maybe. Like, I don't know.
They're dead. The only reason that they're alive is because what's-her-face was a mole inside the Empire. If she doesn't exist, they're dead. That's it. He loses.
Right, yeah. Yep.
Anyway, dumb. All right, that's enough, Obi-Wan. I think you know our feelings on this by now.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to say something positive about the show for like a half a second, which is Obi-Wan at the start like almost refuses to turn on his lightsaber. Like, he's got this blaster and he always uses that. And there's a couple scenes where it's like staring down Vader and he's got his lightsaber in his hand and he just refuses to turn it on. And I really like that because like 2 minutes later, and I'm saying 2 minutes later because that's what it is, not trying to be snide or snarky about it. He's walking, like trying to sneak through like these piles of dirt, and he hears a noise and he spins around and he turns it on instinctively. And I thought that was a great touch where it's like when he has the time to think about it, this isn't something he wants to be doing, but all that like Jedi combat training is still there and he does it automatically. Like, I thought that was a good touch. I thought that was some good writing.
Yeah, that's good character writing. I agree. I agree with you on that.
So
100%. And then, okay, I did really like the Vader and I should know her name.
Third sister?
Yeah, on Third Sister. I loved that fight because it was so ultimately clear that Vader was just playing with his food.
Yeah.
From start to finish. He doesn't ever draw his lightsaber the entire fight. He stops her swings solely with the Force.
Yeah.
He dodges attacks casually. He takes her lightsaber from her, which is the biggest way to clown on somebody you're fighting, honestly. It's like, you're going to hurt yourself with this. Yoink, let me take this for a minute. And then breaks it in half, tosses one on the ground to her and says, pick it up. Like, holy crap, that was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so podcast I listened to made the point I've always been making. Can we just get a show of Vader kicking everyone's ass for a whole season? That's all it is. Someone calls him, we've got a Jedi hiding out in these mountains. Please come kill him. And he's like, yes, let's go. And then he goes and kicks ass. And that's the end of the episode. That's all we need.
The show is like this show could be 45 minutes long. The first 10 minutes is someone being like, all right, we found this Jedi. Let's get a word back to Vader. Then the next 20 minutes is Vader just being like, oh my God, do I know this one? Do I remember this one? Did I meet this one? All right, let's go kill this one. And then he gets there and he's like, oh, fuck. I didn't know you. And then it's like a 15-minute fight scene where he just kills him and he like toys with him and kills him. And he's like, all right, back to looking for ones that I know. Because he's just, he just wants to kill people he knows.
Exactly. And maybe the first couple are fairly easy for him, right? Not a big deal. But then there's like some Jedi master who like was a combat master, right? So he gives Darth Vader a hard time just to mix it up a little bit, right? But Vader wins anyway, because of course he does. But yeah, I would watch the crap out of that every week. I'm like, who's Vader going to kill this week?
Right.
Yeah. So just more of that.
That would be good.
Well, and then apparently getting impaled by a lightsaber doesn't really mean you die anymore. Because the Grand Inquisitor gets impaled, he back. Third Sister gets impaled, and they very intentionally impale her and say, we are leaving you alive in the gutter.
Right.
How is she alive? How is she okay? Oh, Qui-Gon gets punctured through his chest with a lightsaber and dies immediately. What?
Dude, Darth Maul got bisected and he's fine. Like,
Yes. There is no consistency. I don't feel good about this new trend of you get impaled by a lightsaber and you're fine. That
Here's the
they're
thing.
trying to pull on us.
Here's the thing. The original Grand Inquisitor being like dying and then like, oh, he came back. And because he's like crazy dark side Jedi or dark side Force user with like the red eyes and all that going on. Him being alive is like, oh, cool, he's alive. He managed to survive because he's got like, we've seen that the dark side can keep people alive. Anakin was literally like swimming in a volcano with no arms and legs, and he lived, right? So this guy is just like super angry, and he gets to live. Cool. If it happens immediately again to the person he gets revenge on, I'm out.
Why? The bar is too low.
She needs to die there. She really does.
She does. If you want her to live, chop off an arm or something.
Right.
Take a leg, whatever. But do not stab her through the chest and be like, she's fine. Sorry about it. It hurt, but she's fine.
Yeah. Well, it cauterized the entire wound as it went in. So she just has a perfect hole there. And that's where she's going to store her lightsaber from now on. Like like a flesh R2-D2 at Jabba's palace.
It missed all the vital organs.
Right.
It hit some stuff, but it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Well, and then, okay, I do need to examine the third sister's motivations. Okay. So in this episode, they tell us, which we already knew, that she was one of the younglings at the temple during Order 66, and all of her friends got killed by Vader, by Anakin, and she escapes by hiding under their dead bodies, which is like, okay, this would traumatize anyone for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
Fair play. You are screwed up. I get that. But then she's like, I want to kill Anakin. And Obi-Wan's like, okay, so we're kind of on the same side, aren't we? Like, Darth Vader really wants to kill me. I feel like we have some aligned goals here. And then she's like, no, I don't trust you at all. And it's like, okay. Like, I understand not trusting people, but literally, you know that Darth Vader wants to kill this dude. Like, he's the closest thing to an ally you have in the world right now.
Right.
Oh, well, and then, so she wants to kill Anakin because he child killed all of her friends.
Right.
But then she does all this. She's doing this too.
Yeah.
How many children has she tortured? She was going to torture Leia. She brings Vader to this village where he's casually snapping the necks of children as he wanders through, and she's directly responsible for all of this.
And
so, like, at what point do you go, I've become what I want to kill here?
She routinely terrorizes people at, like, Tatooine, like, in the first episode. And they're just like, you know, oh, this is the Inquisitor threatening to kill Owen again if we, like, don't hand over the Jedis that are, like, hiding here. It's like, she's totally fine with just slaughtering people now.
Right. If they ever showed us a quiet moment where she's like, this sucks. I'm trying to get close to Vader. I feel so much guilt for all these people that have died. Okay, I would get that, but she's into it. It really seems like she's reveling in all of this death. And it's like, okay, you're facilitating more child murder here, lady. What is going, like, at what point is it all worth it, right?
I mean, the power of the dark side is seductive, if nothing else, right? Everyone's getting seduced by the powers of the dark side. So it's like, she's like, oh, if I, like, threaten people and I'm angry, I'm getting strong in the Force. Maybe this is my way in to, like, being his right-hand man or right-hand lady and, like, stabbing him at some point.
No, it's a really, really fair point. The dark side is seductive. It is making you feel powerful. Maybe she's just lost in it.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. So she's just lost, is what you're saying. She's so far in the dark side that she's just giving in to every evil impulse that ever crosses her mind.
Yeah.
With the intent of killing Vader, but from a dark side perspective. Not from a light side perspective.
Yeah. I mean, here's the problem. Like, from the dark side stuff, I really like it when they make their bad guys bad and obviously bad. So, like, the yellow eyes being like, this person's super into the dark side stuff is like, they've got the yellow eyes. That's what being super angry does to you. She has none of that. She has no physical or like obvious traits of being deep dark side. She is all the characteristics of redeemable Darkseid, which is tragic backstory and is still alive,
Right.
without any other excluding.
And her eyes are not red or yellow.
Right, or she isn't shooting lightning bolts, or
Right.
deforming her own face, or obviously manipulating the entire Senate. Right, like
Right. That's a good point. So, I don't know. I mean, if they're setting her up for a regen, I don't know, rebirth, whatever they want to call it, right?
Redemption arc.
Redemption. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be well received. But then again, like Darth Vader gets redeemed because he tosses the Emperor down a shaft. Like, that's all he does. That's the only thing. It's like, that really redeemed him for all of the evil he did his entire life?
Well,
really?
He threw the Emperor down a shaft and refused to kill his own son. Like, that's also an important thing.
Okay, two things. Two things. And he gets the Force Ghost. He gets the redemptive hanging out with Obi-Wan and Yoda all day. And they're like, oh, we're glad that you redeemed yourself by doing two things 4 seconds before you died. That totally tracks. You killed all of my friends. Literally all of them.
You put populations to the headsman axe. Like, you killed lots of people.
I guess that's the problem. The problem is that the redemptive concept in Star Wars has been messed up since the beginning. So if they want to do a stupid, aborted redemptive arc for Third Sister here, we just kind of have to roll with it because that's how it works in this universe. She can do 1 or 2 good things and ta-da, she's good now.
She's good now, but she doesn't get to live. That'll be how it goes. It's like, oh, Kylo Ren killed lots of people, but he's good now. So, he gets some, like, minor good juju for, like, a half a second and then dies. Right?
And then dies. And now he's good. And now he's got a Force Ghost somewhere. It's great. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Hanging out with his mom, probably. Yeah.
Probably. She's like, I'm so proud of you, son.
Dude.
And all the children you murdered. And all the deaths you're directly responsible for.
I mean, Han got a Force Ghost, and he wasn't even Force sensitive.
Right. That's the other thing. Like, they're trying to retcon this thing to where, like, Qui-Gon was the first Force Ghost, and he worked super hard at this thing. And he taught Yoda how to do it, and he's going to teach Obi-Wan how to do it. But then it kind of falls apart because, like, you think he was teaching Darth Vader how to become a Force Ghost? Just every night he's, like, appears in Darth Vader's chamber, and he's like, yo.
Do you want some lessons? You want to come back?
We met that one time when you were 8 for about 3 days. Remember me? I'm going to teach you how to live after death, right? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make... We're spending too much time on details that have not been thought about by the people who are in charge of the show.
The details aren't important. Just go with it.
They are important. Okay, fine. So what we've established is Third Sister's going to do 2 good things. Probably save Leia's life. Let's give her that.
I'm going to predict what's going to happen, right?
Okay.
I'm going to use the Force to see the future. There's going to be something where Vader is like coming to find Obi-Wan or Leia, but he's not going to know that it's Leia and Luke. And it's going to happen on Tatooine. Luke's going to be like around the corner. Obi-Wan is going to talk to Third Sister, who miraculously survived being stabbed through the chest. And she is going to hold off Vader somewhere and the other Grand Inquisitor while they get away and like can resume hiding in the desert. That'll be the end of the show. It's like, we all return back to where we were, except for Third Sister, who we remember with her noble sacrifice, holding off the Vader's minions or whatever. That'll be that's it. And
then she gets a Force Ghost. Come on.
No Force Ghost.
Come on. Darth Vader gets one. Everybody gets one at this point. If you have a minor redemptive arc right before you die, you get a Force Ghost. Ben's got one.
No.
Kylo's got one.
Right, but they're like super evil people. Right? Kylo and Darth Vader are super evil. Think of it like a magnet. Right? They're super south charged, and then they go to super north. If they were negative 10 points, now they're positive 10. She's only like a negative 2. Which means she only gets to be positive, 2. That's not enough for a Force Ghost. She's not evil enough to be remembered, okay? If only she committed more genocides, okay?
I don't know. She implied she tortured a bunch of kids.
Yeah, not
She's
good
telling
enough.
Leia, she's like, this isn't a first for me, lady.
She's got an entire museum of Force-sensitive people. She's got frozen in crystal
Have we established that that's for?
trophies. Like, lots of people want to collect things of their the people
think
they've
it's a-
conquered. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it in the basement of the Fortress Inquisitorius?
Because you build... Because that's where that's the jam, right? The entire basement is just...
And it's deserted. There's nobody in that room.
Nobody has clearance
It'd
to
be awesome
in
if
there.
it was like the break room for the Inquisitors and there's like tables set up down there.
If there's like a little...
People are having lunch down there.
There's a little like Force child who's trapped as like a coffee table.
Okay, do that. Oh my gosh, that would have been the best thing. That would have been the best thing in that whole episode.
That could have been where Vader was like trial running, like freezing people in carbonite to be like, does this work? And he's got like just tons of Jedi lying around as slabs, and like they're using them as chairs and coffee tables. There's a little like Twi'lek ping pong table set up, you know.
Right. Oh, that would be so good. I've heard theories that it's about that they're not dead.
Life-size Jedi foosball. They've just got them on rods. Come on, that would be great.
Big, super heavy foosball men.
So you think they're not dead?
Well, the theory I've seen is they're not dead.
Nah, they're dead.
And that they're being kept alive so that their blood can be drawn so that they can be used for cloning experiments because of all the cloning stuff that's been going on.
I would buy the, like, we've got them in storage so we can harvest them later if we perfect this cloning stuff that we've got. Like,
because like the baby Grogu stuff, that was all about cloning. The Empire wanted him for that.
Yeah, they wanted him so they could take his blood.
Yeah.
But here's the, I think at the moment, the modus operandi of the Empire is we slaughter Jedi. That is what we do. We kill Jedi. And I think they've got them on ice so that if they can ever figure that out, they've got samples there that they can draw from.
Yeah.
I can totally buy that, but I don't think those people are alive. I think far too much of what's going on right now is these people need to die.
Right. You think we'll ever know?
No.
We only have one episode left. We're going to go back to that and be like, here's what's going on in this room. They're never going to talk about it.
No, of course not. They flooded that place. The doors won't hold. No one's getting back in there.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
All right, cool. So that's enough Obi-Wan then, I think.
That's enough for Obi-Wan.
So much Obi-Wan. All right, cool. So let's see what else is going on. Oh, so just like for 2 seconds, I watched the first 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel with my daughter the other day.
Yep.
Definitely for like 14-year-olds. Is 100% like, here's all the trouble with my parents. They're being too strict, and I want to go to this thing, but they won't let me. And I'm like, oh my god. All right, fine. This is for teenagers. I get it. It's fine. Not everything has to be for me.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a ton of that going on. It's not horrendous. Like I wasn't tearing my eyes out while I was watching it with my daughter, but definitely what we thought it was going to be, I would say.
Okay. Good to know that I don't have to watch that.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah.
The Boys?
The Boys is so good.
So good. So infinitely better than anything that Disney has put out over the last forever. Especially anything Star Wars. Yeah, so good. I actually haven't watched the most recent one. Have you watched the most recent one?
Let me check.
5, I think.
So the thing I don't like about The Boys at the moment is when I click on The Boys like little tab on Amazon Prime, instead of loading on the episodes tab, it loads on the Explore tab, and I hate it. Because I start scrolling down and I'm like, okay, there's this little biopic about Stan Edgar, but I don't care about anything else. Yes, episode 5. The last time to look on this world of lies. Good episode. You have not seen it?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I kind of binged the last 2, so I don't know where that one stops and the last one starts, you know?
Right. So the last thing that I saw was they had Soldier Boy murder Crimson What's-Her-Face. And then they all head off.
That's the last episode.
It is?
Yeah.
Why did I think that was 4?
Don't know.
Season 3. Oh yeah, no, I did watch episode 5. I'm an idiot. Okay, good. So I'm caught up. Wonderful.
Excellent.
Yeah, super great. Yeah, it's so good. Oh man, it's good. I enjoy so much about it. I'm trying to think of what to talk about first. Everything Homelander is amazing.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the Redditors over at The Boys. Apparently there was some more conservative leaning folk on the Reddit who did not realize the satire that was being presented to them.
Right.
Were somewhat upset about it when they realized or were told.
Right. So what I saw specifically was that apparently one of the writers of the show was like, Homelander is clearly a Trump analog. And I'm like, okay, in some ways, yes, but also he's handsome, tall, and powerful, which none of these things are Trump.
Some people would believe he's at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, no. The delusional people, yes, they do think all these things about Donald Trump. But I think for most humans, they look at Homelander and they're not like, oh, that's Trump, obviously a Trump analog. Like, no, what? No, nope.
Well, okay. So I would just like to point out that Donald Trump is 1.9 meters tall, which makes him 6'1". So he's not short.
That's a lie. Everyone lies about their height when they're public figures.
Probably. But Homelander is also actually shorter than Huey in the show. So let's remember that he's not super tall.
Not in the
Yeah.
Like the actor or the character of Homelander, they have him on a box.
Porque lo no estos.
Isn't there the shot where Huey kind of steps up to Homelander in this season? And I'm pretty sure Homelander's taller than Huey is.
No. People were memeing about it. Huey is taller than Homelander.
Oh, dang. Okay, fair enough.
Because that's where they worked that out. Is when Homelander walks in
scene
on Starlight and Huey in Starlight's apartment. He's like, I've got a key, lol. And then, so Huey stands up and was like, about to like try to throw down with Superman. And yeah, which is like, that's
like Huey, friend, we need to have a talk here.
Right. But he is like a good half a foot taller than him, right?
Dang. Okay, fair enough.
But
but the larger point is the ideas being expressed on the show The Boys from the Homelander's perspective are right-wing MAGA stuff. All of it is MAGA stuff.
Right.
Yes.
And that he is the Trump analog in the story, like even down to like how obvious can we make it? Oh, he's gonna serve everyone at the board meeting taco bowls, right? Because they joined, like they had a Spanish superhero join the Seven, who was not Spanish at all. He's just like,
like, I don't actually speak Spanish,
right? And I would like to say I totally felt that when they were introducing this character, I'm like, oh, you're interested in introducing this character now? I'm gonna put money down that he's dead 5 episodes later. Like, that did not surprise me.
You were right. I was surprised that it happened abruptly as it did, and that it happened off screen.
Oh, the fact that it was abrupt and off screen surprised me, because I was like, oh, we're gonna get a sick scene where they try to fight Homelander, and Homelander just like turns this guy into a pretzel. Right? Not how I thought it would happen, but I figured it would happen. Like, he
gets ratted out by A-Train.
Yeah.
Which
fuck A-Train.
Who had the idea to approach A-Train about this? Like, who was like, you know who we need in our super secret against Homelander play is A-Train. That guy is super solid. Do you
not remember who it was? Do you really not remember who it was?
Who went to A-Train about it?
Yeah.
No.
It was Supersonic. It was him.
Oh, right.
He was like, he's not been a part of the Seven long enough to know that they're all scumbags.
He should not have gone to anybody about this. They should have been like, hey man, help us when the time comes. In the meantime, shut up. Do not talk to anyone about this. Do not try to recruit anybody. We'll come to you later.
Mm-hmm.
I really felt like that was the implication there.
I thought it was too, but he's like a good guy and just assumes other heroes are good guys. Except for the really creepy, like 16-year-old pop song that he wrote, which is, if you listen to the lyrics of that, it's really gross.
It's super gross. Yeah. So he did. I did like I was kind of like, okay, so they're introducing an ex-boyfriend, and he's gonna be like all hitting on Starlight and like wanting to get back with her and stuff. I kind of saw that coming, but then it didn't happen, and I was like, oh, that's nice. He's just a nice dude. He doesn't have any designs, and then he dies, and I'm like, would have been nice to keep him around.
Right. I mean,
yeah, rough stuff. So one thing I love about Homelander right now is that he has tinnitus.
Does he?
Yep. Every once in a while, it zooms in on him when people are talking, and it goes in his head, and you can hear the ringing.
Right. I figured that
happened to him in season 2, and it's still causing problems. I love that level of continuity.
Here's the thing. I didn't realize that he was literally having tinnitus. I thought that was what we were hearing that to like as a sound cue for him being like stressed out and not actually knowing how to deal with the problems that he has, but attempting to like put on the face that I'm Homelander. I'm better than all of you. Obviously, I can deal with this. And then he gets rid of Edgar Stan, and he obviously can't. So he's like, this is increasing. But I didn't think he literally had tinnitus.
He has. They've shown it several times in this season. He has tinnitus from when he got blown up in season 2.
Oh, okay.
And so that helps explain why people in the 7 headquarters are talking mutinous things about him, and he doesn't hear them because he really should be able to hear that. I think it's because his hearing is damaged.
Well, here's the thing. Like they take precautions. They're always putting on music or something to cover it.
Yeah, but even then, I would not talk bad about Homelander if he was within 4 miles of me. I wouldn't do it. We do not have secret mutinous meetings in the headquarters of the building where he is. Just don't do it. Well, I don't care if you have the radio on.
Well, that's the thing. Like when like A-Train's like, man, fuck you, fucking asshole, fuck.
Yeah,
like, Homelander hears him like totally fine.
He does, but he's what 5 feet past him in the same hallway.
Right, but I'm just saying
a normal human could hear that.
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, just
I'm not saying he's deaf. I'm saying he doesn't have his super hearing as much as he used to.
I mean, I think he does because he can still tell what Butch's heart rate is when he drops by and visits him.
Yeah, but he's okay.
Like he can hear his heart rate.
That's true. So again, I don't think is it 100%. Is he at 80%? Maybe.
Is 80% still perfectly acceptable for a superhero to be considered superhearing? I think so.
Yeah. Nope. Fair.
Yeah.
But the larger thing for me is I just think the tinnitus is annoying him. Yeah. And I think it's pissing him off more than everything normally does. So he's extra on edge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's definitely presenting a aura of I'm better. Like that's literally his speech, which is like I'm infallible. He thinks he's infallible, and his ears hurt, which has got to be driving him nuts because nobody else knows. But it's like tinnitus is just annoying enough to be emasculating for someone, right? It's like,
for someone who's never had a cold, who's never had a broken arm, who's never gotten a scrape on his knee before.
Right.
Yeah, I'll bet it's driving him nuts.
It's like the only next like thing that they could give him to like undermine his personality would be to give him hay fever. It's like he's getting beaten by pollen, right?
So good. So good. Yeah, he's terrifying, man. He is so scary.
Mm-hmm.
When he shows up on his birthday to be a hero and talk that girl down from killing herself, and then he's just like,
jump. He's like comparing himself to Jesus, and he's like, you probably wouldn't get this, Jew. And
he is the most colossal asshole. Oh, he's amazing.
He's such an asshole. That guy, like, I saw some people on Twitter talking about it. That guy deserves an award for his acting. Like, he is rocking that role.
Anthony Starr, I think, is his name. He got in a bar fight a couple years ago and like knocked some dude out. So there's a part of like, some of this isn't acting.
Oh, you're saying he's a method actor?
Maybe that's what it was. Oh, that's great. I love the idea that they're like, we need to kill Homelander. We think there's this weapon that can do it. We're going to Russia. And they find it, and it's Soldier Boy, who is as big of an asshole as Homelander is. And you're like, oh, so we could...
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's definitely on the asshole spectrum, right? Like, he is definitely like 3 or 4 levels of tanked, at least. But all we've seen him do is be like a super cocky superhero, go to Nicaragua and fuck things up and hit on everything that moves. Like,
So 2 things. One, Crimson, whatever her name is, I can't remember her full name.
right.
She says, when faced with certain death,
Mm-hmm.
I hated you the whole time.
Right, yeah.
What do you think that was? Was that just personality conflict?
I mean, that's what an asshole is, personality conflict.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not saying
Yeah.
he's a great guy, but he's also not. Apart from, like, whatever's going on with MM, like, whether or not he, like, intentionally killed MM's family or parents or whatever, or if it was an accident.
It was an accident.
I feel like it was probably an accident. Like,
I feel like it's way more interesting if it's an accident and Mother's Milk can't let it go.
Right,
That's way more interesting.
That's my opinion too. But like, we haven't seen him be like, okay, I'm here to save you, Suicide Girl. Jump, right? We haven't seen him like explicitly kill people or get a hand job from a cripple and a you know.
Doesn't he hit on young CIA lady in the
he does
in Nicaragua?
Right, like, yeah, don't get me wrong, he hits on a woman, right, and he can't take no for an answer, and he's probably you know, because he was in like World War II, so it's like he's the Captain America analog, right?
Right.
So he's definitely from a time where he's like, hey ladies, what's up? You can't say no to me because I'm a huge star and a dude, right? He's sleazy and a scumbag.
I think we've crossed the line over to rapey at that point. It's not just about being sleazy.
Yeah, but he's not.
You can't
Homelander
say
levels.
no to me.
He's not Homelander
I think
levels.
he might have been. There's a theory out there that his team arranged for the Russians to take him down in Nicaragua. His team was like, hey, Russians, come get this guy off our hands because we hate him so much.
That's what the lady was talking about. Like,
yeah.
Because he's like, how much did they pay you? And like, they didn't pay us anything. Like, we just sold you out because we hated you. But
yeah.
Like they said, like Gun Club dude. I can't remember. Gunpowder. That's it. Fucking Gunpowder.
Gunpowder.
Gunpowder was like, yeah, man. It was just some hazing. Like he hazed me, and I mean, maybe he beat him. I don't know. But we like the rest of his team are all such shitty heroes. They were all so incompetent in like that one fight we see them. There's a guy who's called like the Great Expand, like the Mind Expander or something, and he's just like crying because of loud noises. Gunpowder is a kid, and he's like shooting down his own people. Waspo or whatever his name, Swatto. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go for a joy flight in enemy airspace. What could go wrong?"
Well, but maybe he was signaling to the Russians where they were. Maybe that was intentional.
No. Yeah, totally. But then they shot him down.
Yeah, they did. Because what do they care? Honestly, why do they care? Black Noir dies because he doesn't want to wear his helmet, or he doesn't die. He gets horribly scarred and loses the ability to speak because he doesn't want to wear his helmet. Okay, that was amazing, I thought.
So that's really interesting because I've got some comic book spoilers that obviously I don't want to tell you. But let's just say there's some interesting stuff there because I'm wondering, because obviously the show is different from the comic books.
Yes.
But that is some interesting stuff.
Okay. I mean, it's entirely possible that whoever is Black Noir now is not who Black Noir was back in '63.
Don't forget, Black Noir doesn't speak anymore, right?
Right.
And he had his like half his face blown off, so it could still be him.
Yes, that's what I mean. Could be him. Could be an entirely different person. We don't know. I don't know that it matters all that much, really.
Right.
For who the character is right now. Maybe it does.
Maybe it does. Maybe it could.
Anyway, I do think killing Homelander with Soldier Boy maybe doesn't just give you an equivalent asshole of Homelander's level, but like 75% of it. And is that really that much better? I don't know.
Right. It's Homelander who can't fly, can't shoot out laser beams, but can summon explosions from himself.
Can take powers from other supers.
Can he take power? Well, he can delete their powers. He can't like
Sorry, not absorb them, delete them. He deletes Kiriko, what's her name? Kimiko's powers. Yeah. She's so happy about it too. It's the most adorable thing.
She's like, I'm not cursed anymore. I can die. Which
amazing. Truly amazing for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so happy. I thought she was going to die. Which
Yeah,
she should. If her powers get removed and she gets blasted into a wall at 800 miles an hour, she's dead.
I mean,
there's like residual powers left that let her heal enough, and now it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. The thing that they're setting up is so sad. It's like she gets her power, her powers are deleted, and she's like in love with Frenchie, and then everything's looking like it's going great. She's getting like her voice back, maybe, or was that Frenchie's like hallucination? I don't remember.
I think it's her hallucination. I think she keeps wishing that she can sing, and so she's imagining it.
Right, that would make sense. And then Frenchie's gonna die. Nina's gonna kill Frenchie, and she's gonna be like, You're mortal now, but the person you love is gone. Like, there are no happy endings in this show.
No, of course not. As soon as Frenchie and Kamiko were like, this is our last job, gosh darn it, then we're going to go live in France together, I was like, you are both very dead. At least one of you are dead now.
Yeah.
You can't talk like that. I'm sorry. It's not how it works. Oh, yeah. It's so good. So one thing that I actually needed to process a little bit, when Starlight shows up, when they are recruiting Soldier Boy, and she's pissed because Huey's gonna like do this thing. At first, I was like, okay, but are you mad because like Soldier Boy's a murderer? Like you've worked.
She's mad.
You're not that innocent. We've seen people die before. You've helped kill people in this whole Homelander thing, right?
She's helped kill. There was someone she killed.
I think she accidentally killed somebody.
Yeah. But she is of like most of all the like soups. She is without a doubt lawful good, right? Like, so
yeah, of all of them, probably
of all of them, she is like at least the closest there.
Yeah,
but she is mostly pissed that Huey has told her, "I'm not going to take Temp V again," and he's taking Temp V again. Right?
True.
And they just Huey just committed murder. Like they tied a woman up and said, "Hey, dude, you want to kill this lady? Go for it." And like he was like, "Okay, with that plan."
Yes, and also the other thing that I read about on Reddit was that that Supersonic just died. Like someone she was friends with and cared about just got murdered, and she's really worried about Huey. And so I think she just doesn't want him involved in this thing at all. And he feels wholly emasculated by that.
Right.
Because he's tired of not being able to help in the ways that she can help, right?
Well, not even that. Like he can't do. They literally characterize him as not being able to do anything right. Like he's burning the toast. He can't open a jar. And then the day after he takes Temp V for the first time, they show him nailing the toast. Like the toast is perfect, and he can open jars. Right? It's literally
I did not notice that.
Yeah. You may have also missed that when Butch is playing darts, he's throwing darts at Homelander, but all of his shots miss Homelander's body or face. Like he literally can't hit Homelander. Is the metaphor there?
That's good.
I picked that up. What was I saying? Her worry or like concern is entirely bound to Huey, like because like Sonic just died, and like Homelander's already threatened to kill Huey several times, probably
explicitly several times,
right?
Like
so she just wants him to like stay out of it, and he's only capable of feeling like a contributing member when he's on Temp V and actively killing people or taking part in it, right?
Yeah. I love that Temp V just kind of gives you a random set of powers. How does that work?
Well,
what is this?
I mean, everyone gets their own power set, but what it is up to you. Like, well, not up to you. You don't get to choose, but it's like your biology is you get a set of powers. Temp V just lets you use them for a little bit. And every time you take Temp V, you get the same powers. But
it's a weird thing, but I get it.
Like, it would make more sense if it was like, oh, hey, I'm gonna be able to sneak you out some vials of Temp V. What powers do you want? Like, they can customize that, maybe.
Well, I figured when Butcher got standard super strength and laser eyes, that it was like that's what you get with Temp V. You get super strength and laser eyes.
Ooh.
Ta-da! Super handy. But then when Huey teleported, I was like, oh, that's not what's going on here at all. Yeah.
Right. You got the ability to flash in an instant.
Right, which seems dangerous unless everything comes with standard super durability.
Oh yeah, like his broken arm was healed instantly.
Yes.
Right. Like
Right. So
yeah.
they all come with super, which again, every superhero, it needs to come with super stability or else you're in a lot of trouble in general. So yeah, so that's nice. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, I've seen people go back and forth on Huey like he's being toxic about this, but I'm just like, I don't know. I just think, yeah, it would be more mature of him to just understand that he doesn't have powers, but that he doesn't need them. That if he just has the confidence that he contributes how he can contribute and that he's being what Starlight needs him to be, which is emotional support and not necessarily physical support, and just be happy with it. Yeah, that'd be good. But I don't think it's pretty human of him not to just be happy with that and want more.
Here's the really strange thing. He's dating a soup, right? Like Starlight and him are like BFFs. And then he finds out that Newman is a soup, and he's like, oh, all of the good work we've done is entirely invalid for the last 12 months because she's a soup.
Right.
It's like, dude, go back to fucking work. You were making progress. Like, tiny progress, controlled by Vought, probably, right?
Yeah.
But, like they said, I think cover-ups were down 60%. That is still good.
The numbers Victoria gave him... She was providing these stats. What if she's bullshitting him the whole time?
It's a public, like it's a government agency. Like there's
he's got to be bullshitting everyone.
That's a lot for one person to cover up. All right, like an entire agency. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? It's possible, but I feel like he has no powers. He could just go back to work, right?
He could, but also she lied about it. Right. If she was a soup who's like, I think it's important to get down soup crime in the world, 2 thumbs up, lady, you're great. But she's hiding it. We know that she's been killing important people with her powers.
Right.
Right. It's not just that she's a soup. She's the soup that killed all of those senators in that hearing.
Right.
She's the soup that killed the leader of that church. She has political agenda that she is following, whether it's hers or someone's directing her. She is being controlled by someone. It's not just that she's a soup.
Well, she immediately sells out her dad.
That's true. And I love Stan's response to that. He's like, yeah, I was taught her to play both sides.
Well, I mean,
he's the best.
I imagine he's got enough clout that he's not actually going to be like in prison for very long, you know?
Right.
Or at all. Like, I'm sure there will be a lengthy trial, you know. The US political system is so congested. He probably won't even see a trial or a courtroom for like a couple of years. And he's clearly the most wealthiest person on the planet. There's no way he can't make bail, you know?
You're right, but that is all very true. I would say the counter argument to that is that if you piss off Homelander, he'll just come kill you. So right. I'm not maybe if you're in the justice system and you can either delay this process or speed it up, maybe don't delay it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, Stan's already had a Homeland's issue. Like, Homelander just want to stand out of the position of control over him.
Yeah.
And that's gone, right? Like, that's not an issue anymore.
Right.
So
but I'm just
saying that Stan is like, if he has any other aces up his sleeve that he doesn't need to be a CEO to enact, then he still can. He still very easily can. Like, I don't think he's actually slowed down except for, I don't know, being CEO. Like, whatever that took away from him.
He's not attending the board meetings anymore.
Right. He's not the only person who was at any point willing to stand up against Homelander. And which also...
Yeah.
Dude runs a soup manufactorium. What's the odds he's got powers?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, because obviously there are characters who have longevity superhero powers. He's got to cook that up for himself at some point. You would think.
Well, and even if he doesn't, like, that man doesn't have contingency after contingency for Homelander tries to force me out. Right? He's got plans upon backup plans for that. He's been planning for that since Homelander was born.
Probably.
Right? So yeah, it explains why he portrays as supremely confident when Homelander comes to gloat, and Stan's just like, I'm not gonna grovel. I'm not gonna act put out by this at all. I am still me. I'm gonna throw some barbs at you, like I've always done, and you can't rattle me, and that rattles you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Oh, man.
There are some theories that Homelander doesn't kill Stan, mostly because Stan's one of the only people who isn't afraid of him on any level.
Right.
Right? So, like, you can feel most human around someone whose heart rate doesn't spike immediately when you walk in the room and who, isn't abjectly terrified of what you can do to them. He needs it. He needs these conversations to feel at all human, even if Stan hates him, obviously, and treats him with no respect at all.
Right.
Yeah. So good. The Boys is so good.
The Boys are so good. And every time the Deep is on screen, I'm like, like
he sucks. He sucks.
The Deep makes me so uncomfortable every time because it's like season 1, he's like stealing a dolphin from SeaWorld or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'll put it in your blowhole later. And then this time he's like having sex with his very controlling wife, who I think was part of the cult. And is still obviously controlling him for some benefit. And he's like, yeah, what are you going to do? Jack me off with all of your arms? And she's like, all of my arms? And he's looking at the octopus. It's like, God, Deep, goddamn. And it's like, they almost had me feel for him when Homelander's like, eat the fucking octopus.
Almost. Hey, let's not forget, he mouth raped Starlight. I'm trying to think of what the term for this is. Let's just add that to the things that we don't like about the Deep.
No.
Right?
Yeah, he's a scumbag. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He's a complete asshole. But it's like when he's just there, like, dude, he's begging for his life. He's got kids. It's like, oh, I feel for this squid, and then it inks all over him.
I mean,
it made me feel
fair.
Yeah,
fair on the squid's part.
Fair on the squid's part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that scene was rough.
Yeah.
Super, super, super rough. Yeah. I get that Homelander wants the Deep on the 7. But how is not everybody in the world like the Deep, honestly? He's back. Nobody was sad when he left. He's not useful in any way.
No. He can talk to fish. That's literally his superpower. Oh, he has gills, so he can breathe underwater.
Yeah, which is fine. Whatever. But anything that he can do, Homelander can do better.
Talk to fish.
Except for talk to fish. But again, how
breathe
useful
underwater.
is talk to fish?
Does
you think Homelander could straight up just go in the ocean all the way to the bottom and come back up?
Probably. I mean, I don't know that he needs to breathe.
I don't either.
He did say you should see the view from space in one of the episodes when they're talking about like he invites everyone up for the board meeting and they're like, wow, what a view from up here. And he's like, yeah, you should see it from space.
Yeah.
So it's possible that he's just flown to like the outer atmosphere and held.
If he's a Superman analog, then he can go in space, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
I think he is.
Probably. Ugh. Doesn't bode well.
No.
I was going somewhere with my train of thought and I've lost it. Oh well. Couldn't have been important.
I like too that Maeve is keeping a public image that she's just basically drinking and like not getting out of bed all day.
Yeah.
That's good. That's smart stuff. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why she has sex with Butcher. I'm trying to figure that one out. Was it just random hookup? Was there more to it?
Yeah, no, I don't think there was. I think it was she had a drink, so she fell off the wagon.
Yes, that's true. Instantaneously, he's like, "You want a drink?" He's like, "I'm 5 months sober." Drink. It's like, wait, maybe push back a little bit. Jeez.
Well, he was like, "I've been a year sober," and like, I don't know.
As he's literally drinking.
Yeah.
Butcher's maybe the biggest asshole on the show is Butcher.
Yeah, but I mean, Cullen. Well, but
then he says soups are garbage, and she's like, "Take me now." Like, do you have problems, Maeve? Do we need to go through some stuff here?
I mean, she probably does.
Okay.
You know, I don't really get it. I was like, this doesn't seem entirely thought out, but they are drunk assholes. Like,
True, but like of every potential sex hookup on the show, the Butcher Maeve pairing was like number 99. Like,
well, I mean, who else would it be? Because Starlight's obviously not hooking up with anyone but Huey, right? Even though Homelander's like, you're mine, sweetie. So
that whole thing. Starlight's having a rough season.
It's true. Who are the other women on the show? Newman? She's not going to touch Butcher, all right?
Ashley and Ashley too.
Ashley. I mean, Ashley is having sex with anyone she can to like.
Right. So that's a lot of options
to discover, like, to try and like hide her fear of everything that's going on with Homelander. She's like, I am a puppet, but I have got some perks. I guess I'm going to sleep with directors and be like, yeah, we had to get someone else to reshoot all your shitty film. I thought that was really funny.
I forgot about that scene. Yeah, that was definitely someone who's got maybe some issues to work through. Is that just a sexual preference? Just getting negged the whole time? Like that's what you're into? Just getting dominated?
Yeah,
emotionally.
I imagine. I can only guess.
Man, I don't know. It worries me, but enough people are that way that it's kind of like it's fine, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe maybe that dude's just super into honest chicks.
Yeah.
Like he's like, honesty. I love it.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, Ashley, whatever. The point is, I don't think anybody was like, Maeve walked into a room with Butcher, maybe they'll fuck. Nope.
No.
Did not cross my mind at all. Not even a little bit. Anywho, that's interesting. I mean, the way also, speaking of Butcher and V and Temp V, they're coding it like it's heroin. Right? They're doing it in hiding. It comes from a needle. They've got the rubber thing wrapped around their arm. Like everything about it is like they're shooting heroin. So they're definitely coding it that it's drugs and that they're going to become addicted to it if they're not already, right? That's the whole plan here.
Right. Well, Butcher and Maeve literally have a conversation about how Butcher's tried like everything and nothing has been nothing is quite like Temp V. And Huey, his face lights up at this, like, the reference to it. He's like, it took some V. It was fantastic. I want more. I will sell me your silverware to buy more. Like, they're hooked. Like, that's it. He immediately goes back to his dealer and is like, I need more.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
being smart is kind of Huey's only thing, right? Not that he's super smart.
No.
But he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's got some good ideas.
Being the moral compass of the group is his quality, right? Like
and Mother's Milk too.
Yeah. I mean, he's. I feel like Mother's Milk has done something. Like Mother's Milk is still a killer. Like he was still in the army, and he's still like with Butcher even before like Huey came around. Like they were killing Soups then. So
it's true.
He keeps people together, but he wasn't just like, I don't know, innocent or wholesome as Huey has been. Like Huey's thing was like, A-Train killed my girlfriend. I just want to make things right. Like, and he spent a year trying to do it the quote unquote right way. I don't think Mother's Milk could do that because he's like too caught up with like revenge on Soldier Boy.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But I'm not trying to say that Huey's lost his moral high ground or whatever. I mean, what I'm concerned about with Huey, maybe he has.
He's a heroin addict. He
probably has. But my thing is that Huey isn't smart enough to recognize what's happening. I wish that Huey would be like, I'm getting addicted to this stuff. It makes me feel great. It's bad for me.
Here's the problem.
I'm doing it anyway because I want the results and I understand it's terrible. I need that.
Here's the thing. He feels great even when he's not on it is the problem. Because he has this stuff where he's like throwing up the like Muppet junk or whatever insult Butcher says.
Like something about blowing a Muppet. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then the next day he's back in America and he's opening jars, he's nailing the toast, right? Like,
Yeah.
he feels like he's capable now. So even when he's not on it, he still has the runner's high or whatever, you know?
Yeah, but
So-
that's what it was. He takes it once, he feels great, he feels like he is capable of doing stuff, and then he didn't need it again. That's different.
Well, he knows that he feels capable now, but he knows he still needs it if he wants to get into combat, like, or to be safe in those situations. So he feels good. He's like, there's no downside to this. I feel great, and I'm not on it, but I know practically, because I'm such a smart guy, I'm gonna need it again if I want to get into some dangerous shit.
Well, need is an interesting term there because he's been doing this for how many years without having superpowers and is still alive.
That's the thing. He doesn't recognize because he feels great now. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I
just want him to recognize. That's it. I want him to recognize what's happening with him. And then he can still do it. I just want his attitude to be different about it.
I think it's better if it's he's just caught up,
just oblivious and stupid about it. Yeah,
I think it's a little bit
fair
better.
enough.
Such a good joke.
Fair enough, I guess. Anyway, man, it's good. What else do we need to cover? I thought it was interesting that they actually, hold on. So does Soldier Boy look older? I know he had a big old beard and stuff, but he shaved it off.
Mm-hmm.
Does he look older to you than he did in like 63 or whatever it is?
No.
He doesn't. But then Crimson What's-Her-Face does.
Yeah. Okay, so not all of them age. And
right.
Soldier Boy explicitly doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gunpowder does.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's interesting. I wonder. It's just part of the package. You get super strength, laser eyes, and you don't age.
Well, that's the. I don't know. Whether or not, because so what Vault was doing is they were going around to hospitals and being like, "Hey, newborn baby, let's shoot this one up with super meth, and it'll get superpowers." But it's not stated whether or not they could tailor which superheroes got powers.
Right.
And Soldier Boy, being the Captain America analog, is they gave him all this super strength and stuff, and they wanted him to be like a symbol against the fight against the Nazis, right, or whatever.
Right.
And so they made him immortal essentially because they could continue to use him as that.
Right.
And so it's just I don't know if they made him immortal with that intention or he just got lucky. Like, I don't know one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, because okay. I don't know. So like Homelander, right? For him, he is aging. We've seen him as a baby, right?
Well, I mean, I assume Soldier Boy wasn't a baby at one point. It's whether or not they get to a point and then stop.
That's the thing. Is the superpower that you reach like 32 and you're done? How does that work?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It would make sense if you got your powers at an adult age and then you never aged past that. I get it.
Right.
But with Homelander, or like maybe Soldier Boy, if they've been superpowered since they were young, how does it just stop? I guess that's Superman too, right?
Right.
Superman
like when
doesn't age.
And yet he stopped at like 26 or whatever.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Does Superman age? Is that what you're Googling? Yeah. It's an interesting question. Well, here's the thing. If Stan Edgar had superpowers and wasn't aging, he looks very old with someone who doesn't age.
Interesting. Good point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing about Superman. He's been in comics since 1930. So there's been so much written about him, and it all contradicts each other, and there's no consistency at all.
Right.
So, like, in this issue, it was stated that Superman is aging at a fourth of the speed of Earthborn humans.
Okay.
So after 400 years, he's dead, right?
Well, I mean, average life expectancy is like 80. So that's like 320, average. Right?
Yeah, right.
But he is routinely exposed to a lot of dangerous chemicals and situations and stuff. He's going to have cancer at some point. He's going to get to like 120 and croak.
So here's another answer. While under the effects of the yellow sun, Superman's constant absorption of solar energy retards the cell deterioration process and strengthens as he gets older, which means that when he gets to his 20s, he ceases to physically age. So it's just like, there's no consistency to this at all.
No, it's if you want him to age, he can.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if it's the yellow sun that's making Superman super powerful, if he went literally anywhere else, he would then start to age.
Right. Right. If he leaves the solar system, he's toast.
Oh, I mean, it depends whether or not, does he then age like normal, or does he then super age? Like, does he start aging at 4 times the rate of a normal person?
That'd be amazing. Yeah, it's all story-based need. He ages if the story needs him to, and if he doesn't, he doesn't in the end.
Yeah.
Man. So I don't know. I do feel like the season for the boys is just going to... They depower Homelander. They don't kill him. He just loses his powers because he's hit by the ray. Because one point that's really important is Homelander sucks as a fighter. He's never had to fight with someone who's remotely as strong as he is.
True.
Every time we've seen him try to solve a problem, he fucks it up. Right?
He does.
He does. He's not good at anything. He wins through everyone's terrified of him. And if he needs to laser someone, he can. Will he laser other people he doesn't mean to? Probably. But that doesn't matter.
No.
So if Soldier Boy is a legitimate fighter who fought in World War II and fought in Vietnam and in Nicaragua and stuff, then maybe he has a super upper hand over Homelander.
Maybe. It depends. Because, like, what is, like, his actual weapons? He's got, like, super strength and all this. And he has, like, a knife on his belt and a shield because he's Captain America. But it is the Captain America with, like, the not a round shield. And Captain America, when he was fighting in World War II, had a gun. So if this guy's just like, I have a gun and a shield and super strength, is his super strength enough that he can stop lasers? Because they like poured a machine gun down his throat and was fine, but that doesn't mean he stops lasers.
So that's a thing. Does Soldier Boy feel pain?
I think so.
But he's not damaged by it? Because holy shit, that's a personal hell right there. That is nuts.
It's not great.
No, and that's another thing. If he feels pain, he seeks to avoid hits, and Homelander doesn't.
Well, I mean, I hope that they don't just fall into the trap where Homelander's like, I can tank anything, and then he finds out that Billy Butcher's laser eyes can actually cut him too. And he's like, you can try head popping me, Newman. Do you want to have a try? And then she does it, and it kills him. Like, that would be so anticlimactic.
No. I hope not. The best thing I'm hoping for is that Soldier Boy come to take him down. It's not personal, but like the boys did him a solid, gave him Crimson What's Her Face, so he's repaying the favor, right? And that Homelander just doesn't take him seriously, right? He's like, I've seen the old reels of you, and you were taking down normal people, and whatever, man. You're old school. I don't respect you at all.
Who's this fossil they dug up to try and kill me?
And then Soldier Boy starts, and all the pebbles are like, and Homelander's like, what is this garbage? And he just gets blasted. All his powers are gone. And now Soldier Boy's in charge, and it sucks.
Maybe. I don't think that's where it's going to go. I think it's going to do the X-Men 3 route where Homelander loses his powers, but he moves the chess piece at the end in the post-credit scene. He's like, he's only going to be temporarily powerless.
Right.
I think he's going to get his stuff back.
Right. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I do. It's a super interesting direction for the character to go. To where he's powerless, and anybody who hates him and knows he's powerless is now a threat. So his goal is making sure nobody knows he's powerless, right?
Oh my god, that would be
gotta be number one.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. He loses his powers but kills Soldier Boy.
Ooh, okay.
And so he just has to maintain the facade, and everyone's like, "Hey, why don't you fly away from me? Why don't you ever fly anymore?"
And the boys are like, we think he lost his powers, but we don't know. Oh man, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty good.
That would be good.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this season.
For sure. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, The Boys, best thing on TV right now. Super great.
Super, super good. Yep.
Trying to think of something I don't like about the show. Apparently, Frenchie's French accent sucks ass. Like,
really? I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of comments online for people who are like, he can't. I don't know why they have him say things in French because he's bad at it, which is hilarious. I couldn't tell. Yeah, right.
I think it's fine, but
yeah, me too.
French.
I think it's fine. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just good. It's good all the way through.
Yeah.
Really good. I do like too that they don't just go after the right wingers necessarily, the dumb people over there. They go after like corporate wokeness.
Oh yeah. I absolutely love that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
that is really entertaining.
This protest is so important to me. Like, they parody the Pepsi commercial. I lost my shit at that. Where it's like, hey, this matters. And it's like, then like A-Train joins the movement and he's like offering them a Pepsi to the riot police.
It's so good.
So good.
It's so good. Ah. It's also like A-Train just sucks.
Oh yeah.
His brother's like, yo, there's this hero patrolling black neighborhoods and murdering dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like stomping them into the ground, killing them. Like not arresting them. They are dying.
Right. And it's
Can we do something about it? And Train's like, I don't know. No. Like, dude, you suck so much.
Not even willing to try. Worst. And then he does try. He like kind of tries, and he gets Blue Hawk to like make an apology, but he obviously doesn't give a shit at the start. He's like very clearly, I'm gonna do what I gotta do on the camera. I'm gonna try and buy my way out of this by donating money, and then just picks fights with people because he's like, black communities are where the crimes are. God.
So bad. It's so bad.
Asshole.
I will say he's the worst, but also everybody else in the room who's not superpowered, maybe don't start yelling at him and just let it go, man. Maybe I get it. You're upset. I understand that. I would feel the same way if I was you. Mm-hmm. But like maybe don't make him Don't antagonize him in any way because he's got superpowers and he's willing to use them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then they just spin it as like, oh, a couple of Antifa people showed up and started causing problems and
Yeah. And is it A-Train's brother who gets paralyzed?
Yeah.
Oh. Is that enough to make A-Train like stop sucking?
No. I mean,
not enough.
He will try, but he's not actually going to stop.
So he just sucks. The end. He's irredeemable.
Yeah, A-Train is actually incompetent at everything he does, just like Homelander. He just doesn't realize it.
Do you? Is it incompetence?
Well, I don't.
I think it's just selfishness. Honestly, I just don't think he cares about anyone else on Earth.
I mean, here's the thing. I think he cares about his points, right? Like he wants to be moneyed and look good, right? And that blinds him to any actual activism he could do, and he's utterly going to fail in all of that because of
100%.
Yeah, it's that kind of incompetence. His eye is not on the ball.
He wants to make a video game about the slave trade. I was listening to a podcast. These dudes are all black, right? And they're talking about The Boys, and they lost their shit about it being called the Middle Passage. They were falling out of their chairs laughing about it. Oh my gosh. It is the funniest, most horrible thing for A-Train. It's like, come on, man.
I like the idea that he had to go to some like graphic artist and be like, we need you to design a PlayStation 5 VR game, right? And like put on some like PlayStation Vought or whatever logos and stuff on it called the Middle Passage, make it about shipping slaves from Africa to the New World. So
bad. So terrible.
Awful idea.
Ashley's like, so really? Adrian is the worst.
Oh.
She's so bad. Oh, that was so funny though. The show is funny sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it helps. You got to break up the like bad with funny.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're like almost at 2 hours.
Well, almost at 2 hours.
Yeah, probably should wrap this up.
Probably. Do we want to talk GSL?
Yeah, we could do that for a minute.
Yeah, because we got a group stage 2 have ready to rock and roll.
Yeah,
which means group stage 1 are all done.
And it is. I've watched the first couple series in that. Not the whole thing though.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch a lot. I like Group D. I didn't watch it all. I was like, wow, Trap didn't make it through. That's interesting. But then I was like, good for you, Ragnarok, coming out in first. But I really don't care. Not yet, anyway.
Right. So one of the games I watched, Ragnarok went for a proxy hatch in Cure's main.
Okay.
Intended to get 2 roaches out from the larva from that hatch and about 6 lings came from across the map and attack. One of his larvae died off creep about a half second before he had enough money to make the second roach.
Oh.
So it was 1 roach and 6 lings, did not bust through the wall, obviously. Had to go home in shame, lost the proxy hatch. And then Cure was like, I'm going to just let you macro up.
Oh, Jesus.
Take a 4th and have 4 lings on the map. I don't care. I'll poke at you with some Hellions. What? You know, I'm not going to seriously threaten you after your failed proxy attempt.
Was this on 2000 Atmospheres by any chance?
Yes.
Because I feel like there's the same ZVT on that map every time it plays, which is it's split map. Zerg's got like 1,000 bases. They're fighting over the top left, like just trying to crack the Terra nut. It was, I want to say it was Maru Solar in Group E, and it was Young Dark in Group C. They both played a very similar match. I'm like, I've seen this. Like, come on, guys. I don't want to see any more of this. And that, like,
baffling.
Just being letting the Zerg, yeah, I'm just gonna let you macro up for a bit. It's like you're risking that position. Why? Don't do it.
What is going through your head right now? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So odd.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Group 2. Group Stage 2. Group A is Maro, Hero, Zhaon, DRZ, DRG, and Sue.
I like it. That's a fun group.
Dude,
did I tell you a Freak of World on Friday?
You mentioned it.
So, Beyond 3.0's classic.
Okay.
Looks like a monster. One of the games, he goes for 3 separate pull the boys all ends.
3 separate ones?
3 separate times. He goes once, and I'm like, all right, this is it for Beyond. And then he goes home and doesn't die, and I'm like, wait, what?
Wait.
Then he does it again, and I'm like, okay, this time for sure. Nope. And then the 3rd time works, and I was like, it blew my mind. So he 3.0's classic looks amazing. And then on the other side of it, Sue 3.0 Zest and looks amazing.
Okay.
And it's time for the finals, and Sue's in StarCraft 2, and his status is away. And no matter how many times I ping him over the next 30 minutes, he never responds.
Oh, no.
He just wandered off.
Oh, no.
I was so excited for a Sue versus Beyond series, especially considering how good they both looked that day. And nope, didn't
Beyond
get
just got to walk over at the grand
finals.
Got
to walk over finals win. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
What I'm saying is Sue looks like a beast right now.
Okay. That's cool.
I could see him getting out. Yeah.
Yeah. How many people get out? Oh, it's that weird thing where it's
2 don't get out.
Yeah, 2 don't get out. 3 do, but one of them gets straight to the semis.
Yeah.
One to like the third versus third, and then second, and they double bracket playoff basically.
Right. It's very confusing. I like it, but it's confusing.
It's confusing. Yeah, I don't know. I think Maru and Sue are good bets.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Who takes third, I don't know. DRG probably not. I would give it to one of the Protosses.
Me too. Probably go Zhao with it.
Yeah, I reckon?
If I had to guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's playing better than Hero right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then Group B's Ragnarok, Creator, Bunny, Dark, and Cure.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, Dark should get out.
Yeah, for sure. Dark should get out. Other than that,
Creator. I think Creator will get out. He's looking really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Ragnarok and Cure are probably in about the same place.
Okay. I'm sorry, Bunny.
Yeah, sorry, Bunny, you're not making it through. Although, again, if Cure plays like an idiot, like he did in that one match, I don't know. Well, and then he did a timing attack where it was 30 seconds before +1 and Combat Shield were finished.
Okay. That's
What?
That sounds like he did a timing attack 30 seconds too soon.
Yeah. And then just like completely left his tanks alone and they got sniped easily. And it was just, he did a million things in that match that were stupid.
Huh.
Like
Well.
Tasteless and Artosis were like, I've never seen him play this bad before. So I don't know, man. I don't trust Kira at this moment.
Who knows?
Nobody knows.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
They'll all be done by next week. Group A is 27th.
27th and 28th, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's perfect. Very good.
Cool.
All right. Yeah. Very good. Very cool.
Very cool.
Awesome. All right, good. Time to wrap this thing up. Gotta go.
Time to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. So thanks everybody for hanging out for another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour with Somicron. Again, you can check out supporting the podcast directly at patreon.com/Somicron. Also, you can buy merch to help out at falconpaladin.store. And that's about it. So until next time, as always, thanks for hanging out with us. And we will catch you next time. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. And above all, take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Bye.